Dorkable.
I am my ex. I has a voodoo doll of opponent. I have Sonic Scream and shoots glitter.
So I'm Link. I'm unaffected by impact. I'm armed with a chainsaw and I have a stone gaze.
I'm just gonna go with the voodoo doll.
I am an eccentric chocolate factory owner who can control gravity. I'm armed with a freeze ray.
I'm a socially awkward penguin with scissor hands.
Alright.
I can summon anything from a hardware store.
I'm sorry, I have to give it to the eccentric guy.
I am an angel, and I shoot sap. And I am armed with an impenetrable shield the size of a trash can lid.
Alright, I am Predator. My entire body is very sticky and I'm armed with utility belt.
Yeah, let's go with Angel.
I'm pretty sure I just got 3 in a row, so now it's you two.
Go ahead.
So I'm Frankenstein's monster that runs on a huge battery mounted on his or her back.
Nice.
That's kind of cool.
I'm pick celebrity. 3 of them.
Okay, but which celebrity?
Pick a celebrity.
Do you actually have to pick a celebrity?
Pick a celebrity.
Sean Connery.
No, don't get me.
Sorry, I think that's great.
Bruce Lee.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I am from.
Three Bruce Lees.
Alright. I breathe fire.
I have 3 telekinetic Bruce Lees.
Oh, okay. Alright. That's not even fair at this point.
Yeah, we know who's gonna win.
Yeah, no, that's not even fair.
They get the battery off your back, you die.
Telekinetic, I mean, not only can you kick your ass, you can do it with your mind, too. Alright.
That is a good round right now.
That's an unfair, one-sided round.
I liked it.
3 telekinetic Bruce Lees.
I'm going with terrible options because I got terrible.
Alright.
I am a Japanese schoolgirl who can turn to steel.
I am seeing a terrible Japanese film.
I'm a pedophile, armed with a musket.
Alright,
Oh no!
so obviously he would go for her, but she could turn to steel, which might be a pretty nasty
She's
surprise.
got seduction on her side too. She'd be like, oh.
And he'd be like,
It's a schoolgirl on a man's a pedophile. Of course it's got seduction on the side.
I'm a Japanese schoolgirl who can turn to steel and acts like a cat.
oh my god, anime.
I'm a pedophile, armed with a musket that controls magnetism.
Yes! You win, hands down.
You got nothing on this.
Well, however, you can turn to steel. Perhaps she could figure out that he controls magnetism and then turn off.
She acts like a cat.
But okay, so she's a schoolgirl acting like a cat. She's a pedophile armed with a musket.
Oh yes, yeah, so
if she turns metal, then
magnetism, if he turns off, musket.
Yeah.
Win.
Boom.
Win. Alright, so...
I did not expect pedophile to win that. He's a badass pedophile.
Just Magneto in
alternate reality.
Oh, Japanese schoolgirl. Go ahead first.
Alright. Sumo wrestler that can clone self, but each clone is half the size of the previous.
Oh,
That's
so you know
still
who's...
a pretty big clone.
I know!
And you know who the original is, so that's something. I'm Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ!
Superstar!
And I'm armed with a bow and unlimited arrows. The best I can do.
I don't recall Jesus Christ being particularly proficient with a bow, but he is Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So.
Son of God, I mean,
But I
God got my
like,
arrow.
depending
I
on
he
what...
wasn't into fighting.
It depends on whether the sumo wrestler is trying to sell stuff outside the church.
And which Jesus we're going with.
Alright, and I can control hair.
Okay, I can resurrect once.
So can I! Hey!
So I'm Sumo Jesus. So I can clone myself, and I can resurrect once.
Perfect.
Yeah.
This is a super fight.
He can use the arrows on each one of your sumo wrestlers.
Okay,
so.
this is where it kind of gets a little tricky. We're talking about like if you're referring to a particular character that they get their pre-loadout. Their loadout is creation in God. So can you make me blind?
Oh, I can take away blindness.
Yeah.
Can I put that onto you?
Yeah,
Probably not. He was a healer, so.
Well, the what is it? The will of God went through him, and God has done a lot of things, both
Yeah, but I don't think-
healing and destruction, like the
What-
plague of
what did-
locusts,
Oh,
the fireballs.
yeah,
the
but he
death
didn't
of
do that
every
through
firstborn
Jesus.
son, but none of that was through Jesus.
Yeah, none of that was through Jesus.
and-
But the will of
Jesus
God
is,
is
and
through
the
Jesus.
death
Jesus'
of death
New
was-
Testament, where God kind of went through like anger management. So.
Well, who's to say that God's like, oh, here's some sumo trying to fuck with my... Well, you know what? Then he would have probably done something when he was crucified. Just saying. Yeah. Well, no, because he wanted him to die because he died for sins. All humanity.
like killing how many sumo wrestlers?
For the sin.
If I can clone self and I can resurrect once, can my clones resurrect once?
Lordy.
No, I don't think that's
You can
fair.
clone self and you can resurrect once, but it is a clone.
Yeah.
It's technically him.
Yeah.
Yourself.
Stop. Well, I said no, and then you're defending him.
I'm just thinking here. It's a fair question.
It's an exact clone. Assuming like his resurrection is just some genetic trait, each clone would have that.
Unless this is like, considering that your character is the only one with the attributes. They don't say that your attribute has the attribute.
Seeing how this might be the last turn, one more card.
Alright.
I like this.
Yeah.
Alright, what do you got?
I charge in when I see the color red.
I have a sumo wrestler that can resurrect once, that can clone itself, but each clone is half the size of the previous, and can also lay exploding eggs.
Whoa!
Beautiful. So each one of those clones can lay
Well,
eggs.
then what about the resurrection? Then they could too. So basically, you have a never-ending army that's laying explosive eggs. It doesn't
Of various
matter.
sizes.
Of various sizes. And I'm Jesus with bow and arrow, and considering the fact that Jesus doesn't really use a bow and arrow, that's like, he's just...
Well, you have to assume that Jesus is fighting, because other than that, this doesn't work.
No, he does, but he's not proficient with it. Let's be honest. When have you ever seen an indie lore him using bow and arrow?
None.
Exactly. So who's to say?
But I'd also
But
like
he
to point
can
out.
also
I'd also like to
control
point
arrows,
out
so
that
he
there's
can,
about
strangle
30.
all those sumos
There's like
and stuff.
30 years
He is
there.
crazy.
What?
guy.
How
Yeah.
many years is it when he
Oh,
disappears?
I can control hair. I can control your hair.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can just like hold up all your guys' hair. You're like,
Which would probably rip their scalp off, considering the weight
Size,
of the sumo.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then they would bleed, and I charge in because I see the color red.
Yeah.
So,
And
so
then
Jesus, whoa. So Jesus Christ is going to charge in and go mano a mano with sumo wrestlers,
With his bow and arrow.
point blank range against a sumo.
Yeah. Well, I die, come back to life. One more?
One more card.
Alright.
Let's do this.
Okay.
I'm armed with a taser.
Okay. I can be killed by water.
Oh, Jesus.
I can turn water to wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you're like, oh, Jesus. I'm like, what floor are you dropping here? He can walk on it. He can turn it to wine.
I
Oh.
don't think I'm gonna win this one.
I think it's the sumo wrestler.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure this is the only time in history where somebody has said a sumo totally beats Jesus. Jesus less than a sumo.
Unless there's a Mexican wrestling place where one guy's name is Jesus and they go up
Jesus.
against
It's pronounced Jesus.
Yeah, come on.
Jesus.
Jesus.
And
Hey, Zeus! How you doing? I'm just a little Thor. How about you?
Ah! Ah!
So this has been Dark Bull